Healing your toxic shame is essential for really feeling good about who you are. It's essential for having fantastic relationships. It's extremely important for being confident in yourself, for just being fulfilled in your life. When you let your unconscious toxic shame control you, you don't really do the things that you want to do in your life. You let your conditioning control you, and you picked up this conditioning from childhood, from culture, from wounds and traumas and survival programming. And you don't really want that stuff to control you in your life because it's just simply unsatisfying. So in this video, I'm going to be helping you to identify your toxic shame and actually heal it. So we're going to be getting to the root of the sense of unworthiness, like you're not good enough. We're going to be getting to the root of the feeling of not being enough. We're going to be getting to the root of subtle beliefs that you are bad or you're wrong, your needs, the things you want, they're bad, you don't deserve them, etc. So this video is extremely important for liberating yourself from this conditioning that we've picked up through our culture, through many years of survival conditioning, beliefs we picked up in childhood, etc. This is going to be essential for just feeling good about who you are, just existing, and just feeling good existing. As simple as that, right? You don't have to achieve anything to finally feel good about who you are, because that'll never come. You don't have to perform a particular way to finally feel good about who you are. Again, that's never actually going to come. You don't have to do anything to feel good about who you are. Just existing, just being will make you feel good about who you are. We're going to get to that point. So first of all, what actually is toxic shame? So we'll contrast it from healthy shame, which we're not going to really talk about in this video. Toxic shame is a dysfunctional and paralyzing form of shame that's very contracted. It really just brings you down for the most part. I mean that very literally, like you'll just kind of cave in. You just essentially do not feel good about who you are because there's various stories and narratives and beliefs that you aren't worthy, that you are bad, that you aren't enough. And the thing is your mind might not say these things like, I'm not worthy or I'm bad. The thing is, though, is that these narratives, although the mind might not say them in this very explicit way, they're buried in your body. They're buried in your nervous system. So although the mind isn't going to say like, oh, these are the narratives and the beliefs that I have, they're still there. You've picked them up from your schooling. You've picked them up from when you did something wrong, right? When you did something wrong when you were 4 or 5 years old or 8 years old, and some authority figure just kind of really let you have it. You felt embarrassed, etc. So shame equals I am bad. It's toxic shame equals I am bad. To put it at the most simple, in the most simple way. So it's not that you did something bad. That would be guilt. It's more about your identity. Who you are is just fundamentally wrong. You are broken. And that's just how your life is going to be. That's just the end of the story. You're a broken human being who's unworthy, etc. So this kind of shame is inherited. It's not something that belongs to you. It's not who you are. It's something you picked up, like putting on a shirt. Right? Your shirt isn't who you are. It's something that you just put on this morning. Right? And you can take off the shirt. So in this video, we're taking off the shirt. We're taking off the toxic shame. So it's inherited, it's projected, and it's installed by trauma, parenting, society, religion, etc. So it's stored in the body and the subconscious, not just the mind. So it's deeply ingrained, and your mind is like a surface level manifestation of all these underlying and complex dynamics that are going on inside of you, like the subconscious, your body, your nervous system, etc. The deeply held and emotionally charged beliefs. That's what's kind of guiding a lot of your sort of ordinary thinking. So we're getting more to the root here, and we're seeing what is the conditioning that is giving rise to our experience of life. So step one in actually healing this shame is you have to name the shame. You have to be able to identify it and say it, like shame. That's it. Say it out loud, shame. Because most of the time it's unconscious. You don't know that you're actually experiencing it. And when it does arise, there's this automatic conditioning to avoid, to distract. You watch TV, you scroll on your phone, you eat junk food, etc. So instead of allowing the usual conditioning to kind of just go on its way, we're interrupting it purposefully. We are intentionally disrupting the pattern. So we're learning to name the shame, and we're learning to notice it in the background. We're learning to notice it in our internal dialogue, and not just our internal dialogue. We're learning to recognize it in our actions, just a general sense of not feeling good enough, feeling like your needs are too much, feeling like you can't speak up for yourself, feeling like you're a burden, etc. Feeling like you just have low self-worth, feeling like you can't approach that attractive person over there because, again, you're just not worthy of it. You see, when the attractive person over there is over there and you want to talk to them, your mind doesn't go, oh yeah, you're not worthy and you suck. Maybe it does. But generally, you might just feel a sense of contraction or like repulsion away from it. Some constricting quality that is binding you and kind of paralyzing you and controlling you. You see, this is a subtle thing that is completely linked with this shame that I'm talking about. And it doesn't make itself well known. That's why we have to make it more well known. We have to be able to identify it, label it shame. So next is we have to reveal and witness it without judgment. Shame essentially begins to grow if we keep it in the shadow, if we keep it in secret, if we keep it in hiding. The way out is by exposing it, by shining conscious attention on it without judgment, without the stories and narratives and thoughts of the mind. No thought. Just we're applying pure presence to the shame. So no more distractions from it. No more running away from it. No more letting it be in the unconscious, in the shadow, and it's controlling us. We're naming it and we're shining attention on it. We're shining a laser-like focus on it so that it can't act out its agenda anymore. We're essentially bringing our shadow out of the dark here. So you cannot heal what you cannot feel, and you can't really, if you can't identify it, you're not even going to be able to do this in the first place. So you're bringing conscious, loving awareness to it. Okay? Basically, this step alone begins to dissolve it. Your awareness by itself is healing. Your awareness by itself is curative. When you shine attention on it and you're feeling it, and where you feel it in the body, right? Maybe you feel it in your chest or your heart area. Shining attention on the feeling and just feeling the flow of energy that's going on there, this is beginning to dismantle it. You're feeling it, and then you're opening up that area where it's all contracted and closed, essentially. You're feeling and you're opening up to the present experience. So step 3, moving on, is to actually be compassionate towards it. Again, if we trace the roots back to this toxic shame, it's an inner child wound for the most part. You can imagine there's a literal child inside you that's kind of acting out this shameful agenda because when it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it was told that it was bad. It was directly or indirectly, for the most part, told that it was bad. It doesn't have to be just you're bad, but maybe we didn't get the attention that we needed. We didn't feel worthy. We didn't get the support that we needed. We didn't feel worthy. We felt like we were not worthy of even existing. We weren't worthy of getting our needs met. This is a big thing around the ego. When the ego gets supported by something and gets its needs met by something, it'll often feel like it needs to be more in order to feel worthy of the support that it's getting, which is a waste of energy, and it's actually very painful because, well, you're already worthy of it. You're beyond the concept of worth. You're just pure awareness, right? Worth is a mental construct. You're beyond that, which we'll talk about towards the end of the video. So you will want to get rid of shame and at the beginning, and that's very, very normal. But don't want to get rid of it. Flip that conditioning on its head, because that's the old paradigm where you just want to get rid of it and you hate it. right? That's the old paradigm. The new paradigm is learning to love it like a scared child, right? Because keep in mind, it's that literal inner child inside of you acting out that programming again and again and again. It was wounded and it's just carrying out the pattern over and over and over again. The real healing is when you look towards it and you learn to actually feel it fully and embrace it with a sense of love. That's the actual healing. You begin to actually be kind towards that aspect of yourself. You hold it within the safe container of your own awareness and you love it in the same way that you would love a real child. So essentially, shame is usually a younger version of you who internalized something that was never theirs to carry. Right? Shame is an internalized version of you, a younger version of you, who internalized something from the external environment. And that internalization became a part of who you believe you are. But it's not who you are, it's just something you picked up. We're dismantling that. We're breaking that down. It's not you. Self-inquiry. I'm not this, I'm not that. So now, we're essentially just rewiring your nervous system so that it feels safe enough to actually experience this part of yourself so that it can actually process it and then let it go. So that you're not stuck in this pattern, because every time this feeling arises, your nervous system has the same reaction. It can't process it, and it fights against it, struggles against it, it's generating energy, it's pulling you to distract yourself. It's doing the old conditioning, the old paradigm. It's stuck in there. We need to consciously move in there and change it. So step 4, get curious about its source. Shame doesn't come from nowhere, like I've been saying. It's a program. Ask, where did I get this belief from? Who gave me this belief? Whose voice is this really? We have an inner critic. Whose voice is this that's telling me I'm not good enough, or it's always shameful and criticizing, etc.? Where did I get this from? My mind, it has its own history, right? So you'll find that you got it most likely when you were very, very young from authority figures. Because the reflections of authority figures, teachers, parents, etc., their personal reflections, we internalize them. We internalize external conditions when we're young, and we make that our sense of who we are in the world so that we can survive. So shame often comes from this toxic shame that I'm talking about, often comes from conditional love or punishment in childhood, cultural and religious indoctrination, moments of emotional neglect or trauma, and being shamed for healthy instincts like sex, anger, joy, your personal needs, etc. Seeing its source removes its authority. So get to the source of it. What's this shame ultimately like trying to protect, really? What's it protecting you from? What's it restricting inside of you? Which basically moves us to step 5, reclaim what shame stole from you. Shame often suppresses your natural power, expression, authenticity, and aliveness. So ask, what do I stop myself from doing out of fear of judgment? That's a great place to start. A lot of our wounds happen in relation to others. So what part of me have I locked away? Then slowly and consciously reclaim it. You're essentially allowing yourself to do what's natural for you. Instead of your nervous system throwing you off all the time and putting you basically, instead of the old conditioning, basically controlling you all the time, you're now choosing the thing that is healing for you. The path you're on now is the thing that is healing for you. It's what feels light, it's what feels genuine, it's what feels authentic, it's what's true for you. Your signature frequency, your actual energy, is able to move in the ways that it really wants to without the toxic shame binding and constricting you. So in those old experiences where you would feel shame, you simply don't anymore. You're just able to be relaxed and present. You can see the old conditioning trying to come up, right? But you're able to be relaxed and present. Like, I'll actually give you a bit of an example for me, right? If I'm in an experience where maybe the old conditioning, the old survival conditioning that we all got a really good dose of, if I'm in an experience where it's triggering that, I'm able to just be the witness of it. I'm relaxed in my body. It's not physically tense. I'm in my body. I'm embodied. And it doesn't arise, not because I'm repressing it, but because I no longer hold those kinds of narratives about who I am. I don't see my need for X as bad. I don't see my expression as something to repress. I feel safe enough to actually allow myself to do the things that I really want to do and to chase, I don't want to use the word chase, but to actually like fulfill my needs, right? Because we'll have a lot of, shame around our needs. That's where it is. You have needs for connection and sex and intimacy and love and all this kinds of stuff. For money and for achievement and for status or self-esteem, food, whatever. Help from others. You have dozens of needs. Shame is usually, it's around a need that you have, right? You're afraid of the rejection of that pretty girl. You're not approaching her because the shame that comes with rejection, the toxic shame that comes with rejection, that's what's essentially controlling you and your avoidance of that. There's a need you have for acceptance and approval and love, and then you're not getting that met and you feel horrible about yourself, right? It's bringing up that past trauma, and you're acting it out over and over again unconsciously. So some bonus work right here is basically somatic work and nervous system regulation, somatic releasing, crying, breath work, things like that. Trauma releasing exercises, this is all very good. Inner child work, this is very good. Mindfulness meditation, mindful movement, those are the most important, right? The most important here are basically inner child work, internal family systems, parts work, mindfulness movement, and mindfulness meditation. These are indispensable. These are like must, basically, because meditation is you're just watching yourself. You're just observing, coming into direct contact with existence, which is healing. You're bringing awareness to reality itself and to yourself directly. That's healing. Mindful movement is you're allowing your energy to express itself. You're getting in tune with who you actually are, with your authentic flow of energy. Rather than forcing things and acting out of shame, you're essentially just, again, attuning to yourself and your personal dynamics closely. Internal family systems is like we're looking at all the parts that make up your psyche, and we're able to focus in on them and actually heal them more directly. And inner child work basically goes hand in hand with parts work, internal family systems. Right. Again, I have all this stuff on my book list. Really check that out. Some of the greatest resources on the planet are literally in my book list. So the nervous system can relearn safety. And when it does, shame no longer has to be the guard dog. That part of you that's shaming you and criticizing you subconsciously, that doesn't have to do its job anymore. That part of you that shamed you for protection, that doesn't have to do its job anymore. It feels safe enough to just let that go. Your nervous system feels safe enough to actually just let that part stop doing that. And then you can just exist and feel good. You don't have to achieve something to finally feel worthy and get approval. You don't have to do anything to finally feel complete, because you're complete as you actually are right now. You were never shameful to begin with, right? These are some more spiritual truths which are essential for healing, and where healing ultimately brings you to, well, the direct realization that you're one with everything and that you're the source of existence. You were born innocent. Your nature is innocent. Who and what you are is innocent. Your pure consciousness, your pure awareness, it's pure innocence. And shame is basically a distortion. It's something that's not true about you, that you've internalized and you hold it as true about you. It's a sort of self-deception. It's an actual delusion. So let go, not by fighting it, but by seeing it. There is no shame in you, right? There's not anything to really, there's no shame in you. Like you aren't shame. Shame is something that you've picked up. It's on you. It's not like in you. It's not who you are. It's something that you've just been conditioned with, and you're actually free to let that go. All of this is distinct from healthy shame, which I'm not really going to be covering in this video. It's very different. But shame, healthy shame, is completely natural. It's completely normal. It's actually healthy to learn to come into contact with it. But toxic shame is basically the point of this video. So let go of shame by becoming more aware of it and not distracting yourself from it. That's it for this video. If you're interested in one-to-one coaching, you can apply to work with me. Take it easy.